You're starring in Snow White, the new version. How's it going?
It's going really, really well. We're having so much fun on set. It's so magical. And every day I'm just pinching myself that I'm a freaking Disney princess. It's so stupid.
Well, it's almost here. We're just about to hit the release of the live-action Disney Snow White.
What I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because, like, we cast a guy in the movie. It's pretty cool.
Right. Disney just dropped a brand new Snow White trailer. And let's just say it kind of ruined Valentine's Day for a lot of people. But, hey, if you're looking forward to this film, it does give us a bit more to look at. Along with the trailer, Disney also released a new Snow White poster. And the first thing I noticed was that Rachel Zegler's Snow White is wearing her red headpiece. A lot of people were saying she looked like Lord Farquaad without it, and honestly, I get why. Her look just felt awkward without that signature red headpiece. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Zegler's haircut in this movie gives major Lord Farquaad vibes. Seriously, they could have given her the bow to make it look more feminine and finished off the look. Without it, it just looks cheap. If we compare it to the earlier promotional images of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, where she wasn't wearing the headpiece at all, it kind of makes sense why people said it looked cheap. Let's be real. Those dwarves, wow, just wow. I can barely look at them. But again, this new promo shot with Zegler minus the headpiece definitely sparked a lot of complaints. Anyway, back to the trailer that Disney dropped today, right on Valentine's Day, no less. The intro starts with the iconic Walt Disney feature production line. And if you didn't know, Snow White was actually Walt Disney's very first full-length animated feature film. Its success is a huge reason for the rise of Disney as we know it. That's part of why so many people were upset with Rachel Zegler's comments about the film. She had zero respect for Snow White and was trashing it almost immediately after.
I have to pretend like, oh, God, well, crazy that we're in front of this.
I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. Like, I'm being so serious. I watched it once and then I went on the ride in Disney World, which was called Snow White's Scary Adventures. Doesn't sound like something a little kid would like. Was terrified of it. Never revisited Snow White again.
I'm a narcissist.
landing the role. And it wasn't just movie critics or people like me who commentate on this stuff. Even hardcore Disney fans felt the burn. The very people who have loved and supported Disney for years felt betrayed by her attitude. I'm honestly not sure how this movie is going to perform at the box office, and it seems like a lot of people are in the same boat. Box office predictions for Rachel Zegler's Snow White are making it clear that Disney might need to reconsider their obsession with live-action remakes. Personally, I just feel like Zegler was the wrong choice for this role. As for the box office, the only prediction I've seen so far comes from Yahoo Entertainment, who's estimating Snow White could make between $63 to $70 million in its first 3 days. And, let's be real, that's not a great start.
And then there's the internet that has no grace or forgiveness for anybody for anything. Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes it's a ridiculous thing. It is what it is.
Especially when you consider that this remake has ballooned its budget, now sitting at around $269.5 million. I actually think it's probably even higher than that, which makes it even worse. To make matters worse, Snow White is on the list of 10 films that could be the biggest box office flops of 2025. I have a strong feeling that this movie is probably going to bomb. It's not just because audiences are getting fed up with live-action remakes, but also because of Rachel Zegler. Let's face it, she's become a huge part of why so many people have already checked out from this movie before it even hits theaters. Snow White has been receiving a lot of negative attention online, particularly after comments from Rachel Zegler, which many perceived as insults aimed at the original film. She openly criticized it, even saying she was terrified of it and never revisited it. For many hardcore Disney fans, this was a major turnoff. These fans understand that, without Snow White, Disney wouldn't exist in the way it does today. There would be no live-action remakes to begin with. This movie means a lot to them. And yet the lead role of Snow White was given to Rachel Zegler, who has become one of the most divisive figures in Hollywood right now. The backlash is evident in the numbers. The trailer released 2 months ago currently sits at 1.2 million dislikes, while the sneak peek for Waiting on a Wish, a new song performed by Zegler, has 49,000 dislikes to just 5.2K likes. Now, Disney has dropped a brand new trailer just over a month before the movie's release. So let's take a look and see what's new. I'll be honest, the opening with all the Disney feature cards was a nice touch. It's nice to see them nod to the legacy of these films, especially since Snow White was Walt Disney's first animated feature and really set the foundation for everything that followed. But right away, we're introduced to the dwarves, and I'm still not a fan of how they've been portrayed. In the original, Snow White is seen cleaning while interacting with animals. She's doing something maternal, helping the children she believes live there. In this version, however, she seems to be showing the dwarves how to clean up, which just makes them look incompetent. They've turned them into bumbling fools, which feels disrespectful. It seems like the narrative is trying to avoid Snow White performing a gendered role like cleaning, but in doing so, it makes the dwarves look ridiculous. And honestly, I think it would have been better to honor the original version where Snow White takes on a more traditional role. But let's talk about that bow. It's finally there! In this new promotional material, Snow White is wearing the iconic red bow in her hair, which she didn't have in the earlier images. It's something that should have been there from the start, especially since that bow is such a key part of her look. Disney could have avoided a lot of backlash by incorporating this detail earlier on. Moving on, we get to the dwarves again. And I'm sorry, but they look horrifying. Their faces are so distorted and unsettling. It's such a missed opportunity. They could have hired 7 dwarf actors to take on these roles, but instead, they opted for CGI and created these magical creatures. It's a slap in the face to the real-life actors who could have had these roles. Disney's response to Peter Dinklage's concerns about typecasting just adds insult to injury. There's also a quick glimpse of the prince, or rather, a freedom fighter, as Rachel Zegler describes him. Honestly, he doesn't look like much of a prince at all. Disney seems to have really deviated from the classic elements of the story, and it's not going over well with fans. Overall, I think the trailer just reinforces a lot of the issues people have with this film. Poor casting choices, unnecessary changes, and a lack of respect for the original film. The backlash is real, and I'm not sure how much more damage control Disney can do to save this movie from flopping at the box office. Seems like you're referencing a very critical reaction to the recent Snow White trailer and its overall reception. The video and comments you're talking about reflect strong sentiments from a significant portion of the audience who are unhappy with both the trailer itself and how Disney is managing the negative feedback. From your description, people are frustrated for a variety of reasons. The casting of Rachel Zegler as Snow White, the changes made to the beloved story, and the visible discontent from hardcore Disney fans. The trailer's significant dislike ratio, 9.7K dislikes to 26K likes, is a clear sign that the public is not on board with how this remake is shaping up. Disney's decision to hide certain comments on Twitter, especially ones that express admiration for the original Snow White movie or critical but mild reactions, has fueled accusations of censorship and sensitivity, adding to the controversy. It's so interesting to note that many of the comments hidden seem
There's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird. We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because, like, we cast a guy in the movie.
Right.
Andrew Burnap, great dude. It's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. All of Andrew's scenes could get cut. Who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
Fairly tame, like the original is the best, or light-hearted reactions using GIFs from The Office or Lilo and Stitch. But Disney's actions of hiding these posts reflect an attempt to control the narrative and protect the image of the movie, which has already faced backlash. Overall, the dissatisfaction around the movie is palpable, and people are skeptical about its success. Whether or not the movie will succeed at the box office remains to be seen, but from the current discourse, it looks like Disney's strategy might not be resonating with fans. It'll be interesting to see how things play out when the movie finally releases. What do you think? Do you feel the negative reactions are fair or just part of the online discourse?